Very good, friends. Hi, Doc South here with you. And I just, this being, well, we're approaching Thanksgiving, and I thought it might be fun to mention a treat us kids used to go for at Thanksgiving dinner, yeah, at the grandparents' house. Yeah. Um, my grandparents lived in Elizabeth, New Jersey. They had a nice little home. It wasn't that little, actually, it was pretty big. Small by today's standards, but big by standard of the 50s and the 20s. And it was a nice little house. And we'd go there, everybody would go there for Thanksgiving and Christmas, of course. And Grandma, well, she was a master chef. Oh boy, could Grandma knock out the food. And Thanksgiving dinner, well, she pulled out all the stops. And of course, like I think I may have mentioned, the grown-ups ate in the dining room. Us kids, well, there was a breakfast nook, and we ate there. There was about four or five of us, something like that, and we'd knock it down. And oh God, it was always so good. And it was nice to be away from the grown-ups. Yeah. In fact, one thing we used to do, it was called the Thanksgiving dinner sandwich. Yeah, we would make this out of party rye. You know the party rye? It's that real small rye bread. Yeah, it's a rye bread that only is about, if you were to slice it and looked at it, looked at the cross section, it was maybe what, 2.5 inches by maybe 2 inches, and the slices were about a quarter inch, if that, thick. Okay. It was party rye. You used it for horse duvers, or is it hors d'oeuvres? Hors d'oeuvres. And what you would do is you'd lay down a layer of turkey, then maybe some cranberry sauce, then some stuffing, then some mashed potatoes, maybe some string beans and corn, and then gravy. And put gravy on top, put a slice on top, and you'd eat that. And a lot of times, if the grown-ups weren't too near at hand, and we'd listen to make sure they were all talking in the dining room. We'd in the breakfast nook, yeah, we'd pull out the stops and we'd chomp these things down right and left, and they were, honestly, they were very tasty. Very a Thanksgiving dinner sandwich, yeah, and no one choked. We probably could have. It would. Nowadays, I would suggest adult supervision for a sandwich like this. Or, if they make a great leftover Thanksgiving dinner meal to make yourself one of these sandwiches. Again, though, eat it with a knife and fork. Cut it into manageable pieces. Good Lord. Yeah, I mean, heavens. But they are rather, I got to say, they're awfully tasty. Basically, it's whatever was served, whatever the cook put on the Thanksgiving table. It had to go on this. It had to go on the party rye. And again, you don't have to glop it to where it's this high, and you're jamming it into your face. You're going to die. Okay. Other than that, though, I got to say it's mighty tasty, and we always kind of liked that. Somehow, no matter it's the concept of no matter where you dig on the plate for Thanksgiving Day supper, something good is there waiting for your tongue. Your tongue's going to get a treat no matter where you start first. I'm just saying. And I believe I don't know, but I seem to remember that Chatterbox used to do these sandwiches as well. Not with party rye. It was an open face sandwich. And I think I may have told Don Hall about this, and he said, Doc, that's a fantastic idea. And I think this time of year, I believe they used to serve that at the Chatterbox. I don't know if I got to eat the first one. I don't know. They were looking for my approval. I'm not sure. I may have been so enamored at seeing that sandwich on in larger size on a plate that I may have passed out. But it was, I can tell you, it was a good sandwich. In my grandma's house, in the breakfast nook, or at the Chatterbox. Either way, it was great. It was great. And I pass that on to you. Maybe for Thanksgiving Day leftovers, you have some of those. You try it out. Just, I would say, don't heap it on and jam it all in your face, because really that things could happen. But other than that, I got to say, it's a mighty tasty sandwich. You've just got to, use some discretion. Yeah. And actually, the longer you take to eat it, the more you enjoy it. Right. Of course. But it was a tasty treat. I do recall. Good old boy, my grandma could cook. And granddad somehow, or maybe steaks were different back in the 50s. But man, he could cook a steak. He'd get a fire going outside. He had a little cinder block grill, just cinder blocks piled on top of one another. And he'd start a fire with sticks. We'd have us kids gather the sticks. He'd get a raging fire going. He'd have that steak cooked in about 7 minutes. I mean, I don't know how, and it wasn't horrible rare to where you think you're eating you just like a coyote might enjoy. No, it was always really, really good. I Granddad, he had a knack for it. That or steaks were better back then. I don't know, but I've never had one better than the one Granddad used to cook on that doggone, was about 5 cinder blocks, and and one of those like clamshell kind of grills. Yeah, just clamp down on it. Count off the minutes. 3 minutes on one side, 4 minutes on the other. It's done. Let's go. And I go figure. And it was always tasty. Sometimes for someone who really didn't like it rare, grandma would kind of fry it up a little on the in the kitchen. But other than that, no, it was fine. No one was complaining, least of all me. But that Thanksgiving dinner uh, on a bun is pretty good. Again, your basic ingredients: rye bread. Well, first off, discretion. Okay, don't be a slob, but a little bit of rye bread, one of those party rye breads. Don't get a big rye bread. You get a little one, a party rye. Turkey, gravy, mashed potatoes, cranberry, beans, stuffing, and frankly, a knife and a fork. And I think you'll like it a lot. I honestly think you will. You know what will make this a Lord's Prayer moment? Our Father, in memory of my grandparents, they were so cool. Well, my folks were too, and my uncles and aunts. They were an interesting family. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. So be it. Okay. We'll see you later, friends. Thank you, and God bless.